Thank you for having me here. It's a great honor and pleasure for me to be to one of the finest universities in the world, which is great. At least I've been told. I've made some research before I came here, and I figured out that on such places, on such occasions, people who gave speeches like President Schulz, great head of states, presidents, prime ministers, CEOs, great investors, and now you've got me. But I look at that as not as responsibility, but as pleasure, because being the youngest member of European Parliament, I feel that freedom to talk to each other as nobody else could do. So let's face it, it's pretty unlikely event to be on that stage here, to be in front of us. Born in Bulgaria, raised in a divorced family. My mom is a geologist, my stepfather is a miner. It's not a great start for any politicians, at least a lot of people think like that. But I think that's the best thing that could happen to me. Really, I believe in that. Not long ago, I was invited to have such a speech, similar speech, in my own university where I graduated. And they asked me, what is the recipe for success? And I thought to myself, I have no idea whatsoever what is the recipe of success. I don't understand anything about recipes or cooking. So, I'm not good at many things. I'm not good at so many things. But I believe I can tell stories. And the stories I know best is my own, because I worked for it. So, this is what I think to do today. Not big deal, not shiny, polished PR stuff, just few stories. I grew up in a small village with less of 1,000 inhabitants. So, believe it or not, that was the place that I learned a lot on that small place, that small village in Bulgaria. And when I grew up a bit, about 15 and 16, I had to work. I had to work to help my parents, my family, to pay my cost of living, so my tuition fees, in order to get good education, just like you. And after school, I had to work on a construction site. And during the summer break, I was selling watches and sunglasses on the biggest seaside resort in Bulgaria. It's called Sunny Beach. And I have to tell you, I learned so much things on the construction sites and in Sunny Beach. Then almost like every other university, professor, teacher, I'm not telling you that you don't have to listen to your professors. But sometimes there is a lessons that has to be taken in the real life outside. This is the only place that you can really feel it and understand it. And judging from that perspective, and saying that it was so long ago, before being elected as MEP, before Forbes put me in their 30 under 30 a list for successful politicians in Europe, before even going to university, nobody was heard of me. And back then, during that period, I was able to see so many rising stars. So many people were proclaimed as gods, were proclaimed as leaders. None of them at the moment is neither star, leader, or god. And I'm sure you know what Romans like to say, vox populi, vox Dei. Means the voice of the people is the voice of the God. But dear friends, there is too less people who wants to be voice of the people, and too many who wants to be gods, unfortunately. And here is my humble advice from my side. I don't have a feeling that I can give you advices, but let's take that one. When you grow in your career, don't grow as weak, which means as far as you go in your career, as far you go from the ground to the people. But grow like a rice. As high you get in your career, closer to the ground and the people. If you lose that connection, you are doomed. So, beginning of my posting here, at the beginning of my term, I got similar start, similar conditions. I remember when I came, I had a conversation with a colleague of mine in one of the committees I work, and I told him, you know, I believe I will need, or at least I'll do my best in a matter of 4, 5, 6 months to understand how this parliament works and to start proving myself. And he started laughing. He said, young boy, young gentleman, you need at least 2 years to understand where the corridors of this building goes. This is what he told me. I said, okay, thank you, fair enough. Good lesson. And I was more motivated than ever to start proving myself. Not to prove myself in front of somebody else, in front of my colleagues, but in front of me. And then, just a week after that, I was proclaimed as the worst performing MEP in the Parliament and in Europe. One of the worst performing MEPs in the Parliament by MEP ranking. Because they didn't even make an effort to read that I came last Friday, so they compare me with everybody else for the last 1 year. And I told them, but I came last Friday. They said, but sir, you've got 0 speaking time, you've got 0 attendance in the plenary, you've got 0 attendance in the committee, you've got 0 speeches, 0 reports. So you're among the first performing. And I print that list. I print that list and I put it on the wall. And I have to tell you, those people made the best gift ever for me. They don't know what a favor made to me. I put it on the wall on my desk, that list. And every goddamn morning start with it. Walking at it, thinking, okay, am I among the worst performing MPs? And this is how my day started. So, after that, I put 2 main goals in front of me. The first one was to have a speech. You probably think that, well, that's the parliament, this is where people give speeches. So it's not that big deal, but it is. Because when your group has limited time, speaking time, and when you have to share that time with MEPs who are MEPs before I was born, it's a bit tough. And I tried several times, but it didn't work. And then I used one option, it's called blue card. Blue card means after the debates, after everybody had their speech, you have to wave a paper sheet or your shirt or whatever you like to attract the chairman's attention, and if he or she decides, we'll give 5 more minutes to 5 more people after the debates to express their opinion. And this is what I did. I shaved the paper sheet, and the chairman said, okay, I'll give 5 more speeches, 5 more minutes. And he started. First one, it wasn't me, the second one, it wasn't me, the third one, it wasn't me, the fourth one, and the 5th one wasn't me. So when I stand up, I forget absolutely everything what I have in my mind to say. Absolutely, 100%. I was that far of epic fail, that far. And I saw a flag, that blue flag with the stars in the circle behind the chairman. And I said, okay, sir, chairman, I heard from the previous speakers that not every young person could become a great doctor. Not every young person could become a great CEO, great lawyer, great inventor, great politician, great entrepreneur. But you know what? They could and they will. Because the stars of this union are not on the flag behind you, but in the universities, in the streets outside. And that was my first speech. And I have to tell you, even now I believe this is one of the good speeches I've made. This is one of the good speeches I've made in the parliament. So, the first step was accomplished. I made a speech. It was not so bad. I was satisfied. But then, it was the reports. I do some efforts, and maybe it was less than 9 months. Less than 9 months since I was part of the parliament, I was trusted to have a report for about 13 million euros helping Greece and Bulgaria for the flooded regions because of the heavy rainfall there. 13 million. And I won't share you any details about the report, but I'll tell you that in probably a month and a half after I was trusted to have the report, I received more than 90% of the votes of my colleagues. More than 90%, and the report was adopted. And exactly in that moment, I saw the face. I saw the face of the same guy who told me that I would need at least 2 years to learn the corridors. And that was the second thing I'd like to print it out and put it on my wall. Unfortunately, I didn't have that option. And that was the second one. The third one was, I figured out that yes, it's a bit boring to read reports, it's much more interesting to write those reports, but I'm using the tools that are already created. I'm using the instruments and the path which is developed much before me, so I have to do something new. And I made a proposal to create a completely new program, because now you have Erasmus for entrepreneurs. If you would like to go in Germany or France or Bulgaria or Romania, you can use Erasmus for young entrepreneurs, go there, get the know-how, get the good practices of those countries and good CEOs of those countries, and you can go back and you do your own company. But sometimes Europe is not big enough for talented young entrepreneurs here. So I made a proposal. I'd like to make a new program that young people, entrepreneurs of Europe, could go worldwide. And if some of you would like to go in Tokyo, Washington, Seoul, could use that program. So I applied for about 1 million euros for that new program, and the results are still to come. I'm waiting for assessment of the Commission, and this fall it will be clear are we having that program or not. But I believe that will be the next good stories that we would like to share with you. So basically that's it. And my story is not even possible on any other continent or country, but here. Because that's the place where it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what is your last name, it doesn't matter which God you pray, it doesn't matter what is the color of your skin, but what matters is what you're doing. So, in some point of the future, nobody will ask how hard was the crisis. Nobody will ask how hard was the crisis with refugees, but will ask why the young people of these times remain silent. Nobody will ask how hard was the crisis in Greece, but they will ask why the young people doesn't take the initiative and save that union. Nobody will ask how hard was the challenges for the climate changes, but they will ask why the young people doesn't make some difference and doesn't create something. So this is why I need you. I need you to be the next great teachers, next great lawyers, next great inventors, great CEOs. This is what it counts. So, if you expect anything else, that's it. It won't get any better. Let's go outside and change the world. Thank you very much. Thank you.